Shawty really love that plug-in beat. Shawty said stick your plug in me. I really don't like the way she thinks. Must have been bad time right now on the sink. But she's showing no remorse about what has been said.
Chance the Rapper. He honestly one of the dopest musicians I ever listened to. Yeah, y'all heard me right. Every time when they even mention this dude's songs, I get made fun of. My mama at the time was put up to the most popular song in his career, No Problem. She used to overplay that song like a lot, but I remember how dope that song was, so I decided to listen to his whole catalog in later years. But yeah, dude's music is pretty goddamn interesting, I'm not gonna lie. Honestly, what put me on to his music was his weird deliveries. One of his albums that started putting him on the map was Acid Rap, and that's where, I got the taste of his vibes and his music. And sorry, I know I keep saying album, but it's a mixtape. One of my favorite soundtracks on his mixtape, or at least some of the songs I can think of at the top of my head that I honestly think that was good in my opinion, is So Good, Paranoia, and Cocoa Butter Kisses, and Juice. And that song is honestly where I found his weird delivery to be interesting. The way he balances melodic rap, trap music, adds a bit of gospel elements here and there, honestly makes it dope. But his greatest album in his whole catalog is over 10 years old, but not really over 10 years old, but 10 years old. And I still appreciate it to this day, and I still listen to all those songs in that album, The Coloring Book. This album was pretty much 2016's version of Graduation. So Chance, congratulations. His album was overall taking up a storm in 2016, man. My boy was doing songs with Kanye, Justin Bieber, John Legend, Future, man, the list goes on. Songs like No Problem, All We Got, Smoke Break, Sane Drugs, How Great is one of my favorite songs on that album, and honestly won my boy a Grammy. Well, he actually won 3 at the 2017 ceremony. I've got to mention his mixtape 10 Day, and that was pretty solid too. But don't get me wrong, man. Just because I'm gassing up this dude doesn't mean that, he's like the best of all time. Bro got a bunch of flops too, especially one of the albums that almost killed this man's career, The Big Day. The Big Day was by far Chance's most fumbled albums, man, in 2019. 10 Day captures a specific period in Chance's life. Acid Rap is about his youth partying, drugs, friendships, that type of bullcrap relationships. The Coloring Book was about my boy being grateful. He became a father at that time, and then, he had a different outlook of things. The Big Day is about his marriage and his wife. How do you fumble that? Bro's literal verse in one of his songs is this crap. Tell me all the money that you make off that you make off that. Peanut butter jelly with a baseball bat. Peanut butter jelly with a peanut butter jelly. You ain't ready for this jelly, it'll break your back. That crap is garbage.
Oh, I love my wife. I love my wife. Let's go ride a bike with my wife. My wife's real young, my wife's real small. Let's go to the beach and play with a beach ball. Praise Jesus, God, and my wife. Let's go to the beach and ride a bike.
But aside from that, he talks about his wife a lot in this album, and it's not really interesting. I'm happy that he made an album for his wife, and he's praising her, but he doesn't really say anything interesting and meaningful, and not really telling us like what makes you love your wife so much and crap like that. Meaningful stuff like that. The Hot Shower song is kind of mid. Chance's annoying delivery just ruins his verse, but Made Toyo and DaBaby honestly do their parts well in that song. There's songs in this album like The Rue and Do You Remember that I honestly like to death in this album. It's some of the only praise I want to give this album. But most of the songs on here ranges from mediocre to bad. It's just not my cup of tea.
But even when he switches his musical backdrop, Chance lyrically and vocally still manages to fall flat on his face. The other major issue I have with this record, if I didn't already make it clear, it's Chance's singing, his rapping, his lyrics. Explaining how god-awful a vast majority of the writing on this album is difficult, because Chance isn't just throwing out 1 or 2 or even 4 bad bars in a song or in a verse. Essentially, he gish gallops or overwhelms whoever's listening with all these painfully mediocre bars.
But yeah, his album didn't sell that much. It was honestly that bad that Pat Corcoran, his manager at the time, just, called ties. But during the 2020s, he wasn't really getting talked about much. He was honestly making good songs in the 2020s. In the early 20s, my boy was back to making singles and, featuring other artists' music, and it sounds amazing as it did. My boy finally got back to the groove of making good, consistent music, therefore releasing his current album, Starline. The album debuted at number 22 at the Billboard 200s during its release in August of last year. Having crazy features like Joey Badass, yeah, I don't curse, Baby Chief Do It, and a bunch more. Everybody praising it, saying that it's a comeback from his last project, The Big Day, and that's literally what that album is about. Coming back from a fall off, pretty much. But yeah, that's about it, man. I really like Chance the Rapper, and I hope that man still hones his craft to this day. I'm trying to do something different with my content. I usually be making movie and video game reviews, but lately I've been doing like comic book reviews and music reviews. This is what I want to do. Like, I be making music on my Instagram account, and I'm trying to do a bit more than that. But yeah, make sure you guys like, comment, share, follow, subscribe. I'm going to be posting this on Instagram as well if anybody's watching this on YouTube. And if I'm going to be posting this on YouTube and anybody watching this on Instagram. And I honestly hope that, y'all attention spans is a bit higher than I usually think of. Like, most people's attention spans be like a minute short to like what they're paying attention to. But, yeah. But, let me know in the comments and stuff, like what type of topics y'all want me to talk about, like what type of any form of entertainment. Then without further ado, I'm out of here.
And I say, hey, what a wonderful kind of day, where you can learn to work and play, and get along with each other. Gonna get by when the going get rough. I'm gonna love life till I'm done grown up. And when I'm going down, I'ma go down swinging. My eyes still smiling and my heart still singing.
I feel like I'm living a lie. I really thought my life after school gonna be alright. But lately now I should be up in the room and I go and cry. It's been 2 years since I graduated, but yeah, I'm adjusting to life. It's sad the moment that I always dream when I'm just gonna die. When I wake up, I just in the sky, then I just fall down the hill. Man, I'm feeling like Pit with my wings work until